Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. Now in today's video we are going to be doing a pick a group tarot reading. As you can see, we've got some interesting objects in front of us. Before we get into that, I just want to introduce today's topic and then I'll introduce the groups. So today's topic is something that I love doing. I think I've done this a lot in the past. If you're an OG and you've been around for a while, you would know this topic fairly well. It is more of a guidance reading, and it's definitely a little bit more hoodoo voodoo in the sense of if this message found you, it was meant for you. So we're asking Spirit today, what do you need to know? It's a general reading. I've got some pre-shuffled oracle and tarot cards for each group, and we're going to be pulling additional cards throughout your reading as well. There'll also be an extended reading. So although we start off quite general, my aim is to get you very specific, clear information, advice, and overall support. So it can be a very helpful reading, and it can also cover a lot of different themes and topics at once. I will be asking certain trigger questions for each of the groups just to help us get more specific key information for you. So with the topic being introduced, let me show you the three groups now. Starting over here with group 1, the objects I've chosen for your pick a group are necklaces and crystals. So group 1's necklace is the Ankh symbol, and this is not a new thing. This is not a new spirituality thing. This is a very old ancient symbol that goes all the way back to the ancient Egyptians. It is the symbol of life, and I would probably butcher the definition if I were to explain it all in depth by myself, so I highly recommend Googling it quickly, but you don't technically need to know too much. The goal of showing you this necklace is that if you find yourself being drawn to it, then this could be your group. And your crystal is actually a fossil. And I chose this fossil because it kind of corresponds with this ancient symbol. So very old energy over here for group 1. Next we have group 2. In group 2, you're a little bit more new age spirituality, although these things have been around for a while as well. Group 2, your necklace is the sun and the moonstone in terms of the pendants. Let me try to get that into focus. And your crystal is the smoky quartz point. And that is a very popular crystal for the here and now. So it's more of like a new age spirituality group for my group 2s. And you have the moonstone crystal pendant as well. It used to have a bit of a shimmer to it. I think we just saw it there. So if you feel drawn to this group, you'll be a part of group 2's reading. And put your crystal back down with your necklace. And lastly, we have group 3 over here. Now group 3, your necklace was actually a gift from a loved one. They picked it up from like a thrift store, like an antique sort of thrift store, and we don't know too much about it. All I know is that it's some sort of old resin, so it's not actually a crystal, but it was made to emulate amethyst, and the pendant itself is sterling silver, so it's very, very old. Even though this isn't real crystal, the intention was for it to last a long time to whoever obtained it. And then we also have this beautiful sodalite crystal as well. It might be something else actually. I just saw my sodalite. So this is azurite, if I can remember off the top of my head. So if you feel drawn to either of these objects, you'll be a part of group 3's reading. Pause the video if you need more time to select which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to. I will be doing a quick meditation in today's reading as well. So if you want to join me in that meditation, the meditation is aimed at grounding you, trying to connect you to your higher self, to your spiritual team, and to which of these groups contains the most honest messages for you. So that will be playing after this clip. But when you know which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to, click on your timestamps and join me in your reading. Hi, and welcome to everybody who is able to join me in the meditation portion of today's video. We're just going to be doing a quick meditation to hopefully connect you with the group that has the most honest messages for you. Before we begin, I would encourage you to limit distractions. Consider closing your window if it's a bit too noisy outside, maybe pulling the curtains a little bit, adjusting the screen brightness. Some of you like it really bright and some of you like it a little bit darker so that you can unfocus your eyes and really tune in. Another thing I would recommend is just limiting distractions in your environment. Maybe if you've got something else playing in the background, turning the volume down or pausing it temporarily. Before we get into it, I just want you to keep your eyes on the screen. It's natural at this time for your eyes to unfocus and to get a little bit blurry. So instead, use your ears to focus on my voice. We're going to take 3 deep mindful breaths, and then I'm going to say a few words to help connect you with your higher self. So for the breathing, relax your body. You can close your eyes if you want. I want you to focus on my voice and try to tune out the other noises around you. Take a deep breath in and hold it. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in and hold it for 1, 2, 3. And exhale for 1, 2, 3. Last one. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And exhale for 1, 2, and 3. From this relaxed state, you can now choose to open your eyes if they were closed. We're going to connect with our spiritual teams, with our higher selves, and with Source. Spirit, we understand that today's reading is a general guidance reading. We understand that there may be some messages that are not meant for us. We ask for your guidance and assistance in finding a group with the most honest, clear, supportive, and helpful messages for us today. Help us find a group that will give us the clarity we need at this moment in our journey to be able to keep moving forward, feeling empowered and confident. And at this stage, I want you to let your eyes roll across the screen, across the objects you see. You may find yourself feeling drawn to the different colors, to the different shimmers, or maybe to the way that certain objects disappear and appear in this relaxed, unfocused state. When you find yourself being called towards one specific group, click on your timestamp for that group and join me in your reading. If you need to repeat this meditation, now would be the time to click back on that meditation timestamp and repeat the process. Hi my group ones, and welcome. If you chose this Ankh necklace or the fossil crystal, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome. I'll put your objects back down. In today's reading, we're asking Spirit, what do you need to know? I have some pre-shuffled cards that I want to get through, but we're also going to be pulling tarot cards as well. So let's have a look. What do you need to know right now? We have the Prince of Cups in the reverse position. We also have the Tarantula card coming out for you. We have chain of events that will affect your life. And we have tree, affairs with your family. So there's a lot of intuitive hits coming out already for this group, there is a strong focus on your close relationships. Spirit is saying you need to know that those around you are maybe needing a little bit more support from you right now. And it's up to you to decide whether you have the capacity to be able to do that, especially with the tarantula here. I'm seeing that you could be very busy, or you could be juggling a lot right now. It's giving me this image of like just 8 legs trying to get things done. I do think that you do need to be a bit careful with your energy right now, maybe a bit focused, creating lists of things that you need to do on a daily basis or just for the next week could be very helpful for you, group 1, because I feel like your emotional capacity is quite limited, let alone your energetic availability. And what I'm seeing with these oracle cards is that a lot of what you've got going on is trying to get you somewhere. Like you're doing this for that, you're doing this for that. You feel like you're on some sort of builder's mode right now where you're creating these little stepping stones towards outcomes or destinations. I do think that you need to be very aware of how the short term is impacting that goal, and just staying accountable and aware of the little steps that you can take on a daily basis. There is something here about your family, and it feels like you do need to think a little bit long term when it comes to these personal interactions that you're having. I think there may be some important conversations or even gestures that you may need to consider having or taking over the next couple of days, just to make sure that you're on the same page with your loved ones, that you're keeping that communication open with your loved ones, especially with affairs with your family. There's a message here about just making sure that you're keeping that communication flowing so that you know where you stand with each other for some reason. There almost feels like there could be a misunderstanding right now, or again, like someone's feeling a bit neglected, like they want more support or they want more from you. So I do feel with the Prince of Cups reversed that you guys are going to need to make decisions about what you can say yes to and what you have to say no to, what you may need to take a rain check on and postpone versus what you need to just sort of focus on right here, right now. There's also a message here about being very careful about what you say yes to just out of reflex. I almost wonder with this Tarantula and Prince of Cups card if you guys are on defense mode at the moment, and if it feels like you're having to kind of just combat certain things from coming towards you or push them away before they can even get closer to you. This tarantula energy, it feels a little frantic. It feels a little bit like we're juggling a lot and we are losing our head a little bit. There could be stress associated with that. There could also just be frustration, because no one can say you aren't trying, group 1, but it does feel like progress is either slow or it's just something that seems to be taking a lot versus what we're actually seeing. So there is a message there of just being able to give yourself outlets and manage your expectations, because you're really trying. I just think that there's a lot that you need to do right now. It's giving 9 of Wands energy, really pushing through in order to get to your desired outcome. I am just going to shuffle your tarot deck now, and we'll have a look at what else you need to know. Spirit, what else does group 1 need to know about this tarantula card? Okay, we have the 2 of Swords reversed, the Lovers card, the Star card reversed, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So for now, this tarantula is talking about your ability to make decisions. There is a message here of just stick to the black and white, don't read between the lines. I think the 2 of Swords reverse can sometimes look at us making irrational decisions or feeling like we have to just decide what we're going to do even though we don't have all the information. So I'm kind of wondering with that 2 of Swords reversed if you need to know that if something is difficult or if it feels like we're in the dark, we should either ask more questions or step back and have a look at what the confusing part of the story is, because the Lovers card is saying you have enough information to make the right choice for yourself. It's overcomplicated and we are feeling confused because of things that are out of our control or that we shouldn't be responsible for. So when it comes to making decisions, it's about making the right choices for yourself and for your important people in your life who you feel you are directly responsible for. For some of you, this is your children. For others of you, this is a partnership. And for most of you, this is yourself, because the Lovers card is a decision you make for yourself. Now, with the Star card reversed, this tarantula energy is also highlighting an issue with your past, impacting your ability to think clearly about your future. So sometimes this looks like us feeling like we're being pulled back into our past a little bit, dwelling on nostalgia or memories, or even things that we thought we had worked through and healed. Them reappearing as fresh wounds that are dictating the way that we live our lives in the present. There is a message of staying grounded in your present, of working through those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings about your past so as to not project them into your future. I do see a lot of temptation around you right now, a lot of distractions, and this overarching theme of you being too hard on yourself to the point where you're going to end up either relapsing or just sort of bending the rules and beating yourself up about it. So I think with the tarantula card, there's a strong desire here to get through whatever it is that you're going through right now, and to get on the other end feeling accomplished because you were busy for all the right reasons. But the tarot is saying your main focus should just be dealing with the paperwork, making the right choices, and ensuring that you have a clear understanding of what is required from you on a daily basis, so that you're not going above and beyond, and so that you are ticking boxes and getting closer towards your goal. I do believe that information is very helpful for you right now. And when it comes to dealing with a deadline, the more you know, the better prepared you'll be. So keep asking questions and make sure you're checking your emails, that kind of stuff. The other thing, group one, is with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, I do feel like you may need to be a bit more selfish with your time right now. This does look a little bit defensive, but it also looks like you just need to know when to say no to things that could take up a lot of your time or your resources, being a little bit aware of the kind of money you're working with right now, and making sure that you're not overcommitting yourself to something that should be saved for a rainy day, if that makes sense. It's not giving me full budget mode, but it is giving me there could be unexpected payments coming up in the future that you should be saving for, that kind of energy. Let's move forward. I want to have a look at this Prince of Cups as well. What is this Prince of Cups energy about for my group ones? What is this Prince of Cups energy about for my group ones? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Cups, we also have, sorry Sossig, my little Nudar. We also have the Eight of Wands reversed, and we have the Knight of Cups again reversed. Okay, Six of Cups at the back of the deck. Group one, this definitely has to do with a relationship. It is a close relationship. It is somebody who I feel has been trying to get closer to you. So this is where your group splits a little bit. For those who are in a relationship already, this is your partner trying to get a little bit more useful in your life. They want to know how they can help. They want to be a part of your support. They want to be able to meet your emotional needs right now. And it feels like they're struggling to do that. It feels like they don't know how to help. They don't know how to approach you. They don't know how to make the situation better. They feel like you're very capable. And if you would need help, you would ask them for help. But at the same time, they see you as someone that needs to be offered things. Otherwise, you don't just sort of expect them. So I do think that for those who are in relationships, there is somebody your partner here who is trying to find ways to be of service. There seems to be a crossing of love languages, and that is applicable to my singles as well. There's somebody interested in you who feels like you're not on the same page. You have different love languages, you have different expectations right now, and you're possibly expecting different things from each other. This person feels very connected to you already, singles. They feel like they are someone who should be in your life more than they are currently. But again, they're struggling to find their purpose, their way in, their way to approach you. You are making this person aware through your body language and through how they do interact with you, even if it is quite limited, that you are busy. You come across as a very rushed person. You're there for a reason and you're out when you've done what you need to do. So this person has been biding their time, trying to find a way to be able to approach you. Also for my singles, I do feel like this person is going to reach out to you soon because they want to just sort of show that they are here if you need their help. So I think that's how they're going to make it happen. They're going to find a way to be of support or service to you. They're going to find a way to say, hey, if you need anything, I'm here, to show you that you care, that they care, sorry. And for all of you, your loved ones are definitely trying to be helpful right now. They're offering their support, they're offering their services, they're trying to say, hey, group one, I've noticed you've been quite flat out, you've been quite busy. Is there anything I can do to help? Some of you guys have not returned their messages, their calls, their emails, their communication, and they are going to try to reach out again more compassionately. But you need to know that there's only so much that people can do. If you do need help, please tell them. Please explain to them what you've got going on and find a way to incorporate their skill set or time, because it does feel like there's a lot to gain gratuitously. It's almost like this is something that a lot of people want to be a part of. They want to be closer to you. So it's kind of up to you to be able to accept that offer and to be able to get back to them on where they are required. Especially with the Prince of Cups reversed, it's like you're intentionally saying no. Spirit's saying you need to know, group one, that you're intentionally stopping people from getting close to you right now. Let's move forward. I just want to ask quickly for my singles, how can they identify this person if they don't know them already? How can they identify this Prince of Cups person if they don't know them already? Tristan is on this card, so that could be their name. We have the Page of Cups reversed. This is someone who you were sweet on. You may have had a crush on them, but the things have gone pretty quiet. No communication right now. They might be a little bit younger than you, or there could be a slight age gap. I'm seeing the full card. So yeah, they think that one of you are younger, and they also feel like you're very self-sufficient. You come across as someone who has it all done. So that's why they're trying to find out how they fit in. Yeah, there's strong independence vibes here. This person may be very different to your usual type. They may be very attractive, but they're not your conventionally attractive kind of person. I also think that there might have been a false start here. You might have felt yourself developing feelings and then you kind of pulled back, and this person's kind of like, what happened? Like, I was getting the green light and now I've got the red light stop. So I do think that your energy and your attention is not currently focused on this person, regardless of whether it was once before. You're currently really putting your resources towards other avenues. And for a lot of you, it has to do with your material advancement, your career, your skincare, your self-care, your health, your family. For some of you, your children. It just feels like you're really focused on other things. So how can you identify this person? I feel like they have a really toothy, or at least a really white smile, like their teeth are really standing out to me. I feel like they're also somebody who tries to kind of make eye contact. There seems to be an age gap here because we have very young energy and we have very mature energy. I think it just depends on who you talk to in terms of who is the more mature one. I feel like you both resonate as having mature sides to you, but you do also see immaturity in each other as well. And the other way you can recognize them is I feel like you don't see this person in your home. This is an external environment where one of you has responsibilities in that environment, either because they're working with the Queen of Pentacles or because they are responsible for something there with the Empress card. They feel like they have to be there for a reason. It's giving health. It's also giving like a workplace, but you're just there for a specific reason. Maybe you're not the worker, they are. And it also kind of gives me the vibe of trying to just do something outside of your regular responsibilities. So where we have a responsibility to maybe pay our rent or do our food shopping or pay our bills, this is something else. This is a different responsibility. It's not like your survival list of things to do. It's something else that you do, and it could even have to do with getting out there and meeting a group of people, or it could have to do with you ticking something off your list of things that you had to do for yourself, because there does seem to be this idea of like, I'm getting out of the house to do this type of energy. I hope that makes sense. Let's keep moving forward. We're going to talk about this chain of events card, the chain of events that will affect your life. What is this card about for my group ones? What is this card about for my group ones? At the back of the deck, we have the Two of Wands reversed. Okay. And in the middle here, we have the Ten of Wands, Judgment. Knight of Pentacles reversed, Five of Pentacles. So I feel like this chain of events has a lot to do with movement. There is this feeling of you being in somewhat of a crisis mode right now because things are changing, your environment is changing. For some of you, this has to do with a change in income. It could be that you feel like you've lost employment recently, or you guys have switched careers, or your material circumstances are changing. So you have to factor in a change in lifestyle as well. It just feels like your material world is changing. And the chain of events that will affect your life is that this is a chance for reinvention, but we have to be realistic, and we have to also be a bit open-minded in order to get the most out of this opportunity in a good way. Dwelling on what isn't going right is going to be a very quick way of staying stuck in where you're at and only appearing to focus on the losses. There is a strong message here of stay open-minded and be receptive to radical change, not just going from one comfort zone to another, but very radical change. Things that could drastically change your lifestyle, your habits, and the kind of future that you expected for yourself. Because I do see that this feels like a recovery. It feels like you have to recover from some sort of loss or some sort of shift. And it's going to be very hard to get your ego and your pride to recalibrate with that sense of change. Especially with the Two of Wands reversed, your expectations are shifting. The plans are completely like done a 180. And in order to get back on track and feeling somewhat productive and positive about where we're headed, we do need to shift our expectations right now and be a bit more realistic with what we're working with. With the Ten of Wands reversed, there is this message here of please don't burn out too soon. I think you are busy, but you're going to be busy for a while, group one. So don't just push yourself to the limits for the next week. You need to think about a sustainable way of working hard continuously so that you're not just burning out and then feeling like you can't get to where you need to go. There is a message here of just consider being a little bit more productive and resourceful with your energy instead of burning too hard and too fast, especially with the Ten of Wands reversed. Consider juggling your responsibilities a little bit to a point where you're reevaluating where your energy is going to and what is actually a responsibility right now. Are you taking on too much? Do you need to consider lessening your roles of responsibility? And do you need to consider delegating in order to make sure that you're not taking on too much right now? Delegating could be a very quick way of alleviating some of the stress and pressure by asking others for help. We know that they want to help. With the Knight of Pentacles reversed, I do think that something is shifting your long-term plans. And the main reason this is happening is because that avenue is no longer fruitful for us. if we want success and if we want stability, we need to pursue other options. We need to go back to the drawing board and we need to restructure our long-term plans. We also need to be in crisis mode in the immediate future to make sure that we're not feeding all of our resources, especially your money, towards non-sustainable ways of living. That is prolonged moments of crisis. Instead of a 2-week crisis mode of having to be a little bit frugal with what we spend, you could be in a 2-year crisis mode of not being able to catch up to reality in terms of what your outgoings and incomings are. So being very realistic and recalibrating our long-term plans to match the circumstances that we're in right now. The other reason the Knight of Pentacles is here is maybe it's an exciting time to be able to really dream about where you want to be and have a look at how you can get there through short-term achievable goals. Trying not to think too far ahead because that is overwhelming based on the amount of pressure that you're under. A short-term plan may be better for you right now, and just having that short-term list of things that you need to follow up on instead of taking on too much. Let's move forward. We'll cover this tree card and then we'll have a look at what we're talking about in your extended reading. What is this tree card about for my group ones? What is this tree card about? Some of you are wanting to expand your family, especially looking at taking care of an older person, or having another child or another, I'm hearing responsibility. Okay, y'all are very pragmatic. 10 of Pentacles. Could be a pet though, that's what I was going to say. The Magician and the Hanged Man. Yeah, a lot of choices. You have a lot of decisions to make. And the best advice Spirit can give you is to make sure that those decisions are coming from a rational place. I think it's very important for you to put 2 feet on the ground and to evaluate the facts and figures. When it comes to your family, there are some decisions that need to be made about your family situation. It does feel like this is thinking long term, looking at how to take care of everyone. Some of you, this is looking like 2 households being combined or being more connected and interconnected with your extended family. The 10 of Pentacles could be a long-term goal that you have with your family to be able to get together and be more inclusive. It feels like you want to bring people together though. That's what this feels like, especially with the Magician card being here, my group ones. It almost is like we need to maybe have some important conversations and start taking action, controlling that narrative a little bit more, being in the driver's seat, the main character energy, so that we are letting this actually unfold the way that we want it to. The other thing is sometimes the Magician card pops up to warn us of a silver-tongued devil maybe taking advantage of a family member. So I would encourage you, if you have anyone who's dealing with an institution or someone who's making a lot of promises, like, I'm going to take care of you, don't worry. This isn't like a friend or anything. This feels like a professional. Double check the paperwork and just make sure that your loved one isn't getting taken advantage of, especially an elderly person going into like a retirement home or that kind of energy. It just feels like we may need to be a bit more careful. Now, outside of that warning, I just think that with your family right now, we are having a lot of conversations, or we need to have a lot of conversations about the future, about what we can do and about what we should do, as well as what we want to do, and just comparing all of that. So what is the idealistic plan? What is the realistic plan? And what is the plan that we're going to follow up on after this meeting? That could involve a lot of delegating. That could involve a lot of back and forth communication. I do think someone's being a little bit self-serving here with the Magician card, like they want a specific outcome to happen. So they're trying to kind of convince the others to do the same thing. With the Hanged Man reverse, this is going to take time. and there's one key person that needs to be convinced before you're able to move forward. While we have one person who's like, yeah, we really want to do this and we want to do that, there's another important person who has to say yes, and they're going to take their time and they're just going to weigh up all the facts and figures first. Until their heart feels like it's right, they're not going to want to progress. So we do need to be aware of that. Someone's heart needs time to come around to the facts and the ideas that are being thrown out there. The Hanged Man reverse as advice is encouraging you to just say what you can and to offer a lot of support. That's what this feels like when it comes to affairs with your family. Say what you can, but offer a lot of emotional support. I think your presence is the biggest gift that you can give. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Group 1. When it comes to what do you need to know right now, I do want to pull cards from a different deck now to have a look at what we are covering in your extended reading. What do I need to cover in Group 2's extended reading? Group 1, sorry. What do I need to cover in Group 1's extended reading? Okay. One more card. Okay. At the back of the deck, we have the Six of Cups reversed. It is a little bit off camera. Let me put it up there. I'm just going to pull out my voice notes so that we can record this, and I'll play it back in your extended reading to make sure that I don't miss anything. So Group 1, the first thing we need to talk about is this Three of Swords. Spirit is saying that you need to make a very difficult decision and you need to have a difficult conversation about your future soon. It's very important that you have this conversation, but we have a lot of advice that we need to give you in your extended reading. We also need to cover the benefits of having this conversation and what will happen if you delay it. Now, outside of that, we also have the Two of Coins here. And this Two of Coins is saying that you are juggling a lot of priorities, but there is advice when it comes to what should be at the top of your list right now and what you can afford to not stress so much about right now. We're also going to have a look at things you may need to know for the short term, any immediate concerns, any immediate successes, any short-term helpful information about the immediate future. With the Nine of Cups being here, there is a wish coming true for you. I think this is a card reassuring you in general. So I'm going to get messages about your success and your emotional success in the near future. I think this has a lot to do with those relationships we were talking about in the first part of your reading, and just reassuring you that all the effort that you're doing is going to pay off for your emotional self as well as your what you're trying to achieve. Now, with the Six of Cups being here reversed, I do think for a lot of you that there's this overall message of people being a lot more valuable than they appear. And I think Spirit is really wanting to make sure that you don't miss out on connecting with important people in your life. So we're going to have a look at who those important people are, especially for my singles. There's also a message here about children for whoever needs to hear it, and just making sure that you aren't saying no and pushing away people that have a very important role to play in your life. So if that sounds helpful, and if it does seem like something that would really resonate for you, especially if the first part of your reading did resonate, the link to your extended reading is in the description box. It's all ready to go when you are. The extended readings are on my website, so you can click that link, or you can head to thehermittarotshop.com and join me there. Remember, you are Group 1 of the What Do You Need to Know reading, posted in May 2023. So double check that you've selected the right group before you purchase it. Please, 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 please. Now, before you go, Group 1, wherever you're going, I do want to thank you for all of your support, for all of your time, and for all of your energy right here on YouTube. It's been a pleasure to read for you, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Hi Group 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose this smoky quartz crystal or this beautiful moonstone and sun necklace, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome. I'm going to pop Group 1 stuff to the side for now so that doesn't confuse us, and we'll put your objects up the top here. So group 2, welcome. In today's reading, we're asking Spirit, what do you need to know at the time that you're seeing this video? What information is most helpful for you on your journey? Ideally to help you overcome any challenges, issues, or obstacles that you feel may be keeping you stuck, as well as any other tidbits of information that may be helpful that you may not be aware of. And my goal is to just kind of give you as much specific information as I can about this sort of general topic to hopefully help you get to your best possible outcome. If that makes sense. I used a lot of words for something that should have been much more straightforward. So let's have a look and see what message Spirit has for you, my group 2s. Your first card is Illusion. We have the Moon card coming out with Ivan and Odette. If it will focus, there we go. We'll put that card there. We also have Crocodile. You got a lot of water creatures. Beautiful. That is my totem, so that's cute. We also have Weeping Willow, Family Sorrow. This is giving me Pocahontas vibes now. We also have Caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. So first off, I just want to address the fact that some of you may be experiencing loss with family sorrow. You could have recently lost somebody, or you could be feeling the loss of somebody who has already passed. And I want to send my love to you immediately. I just want to get that message out of the way. I want you to know that this loved one is still sending love to you and energetically around you. All of you who are feeling like you aren't actually thinking of this person need to know that they are still around you too. This feels like a matriarch or a patriarch. They're coming across as a very mature person, somebody who passed with age as well, has some sort of circumstance. And it feels like they were somebody who were higher up, at least 2 generations above you, so a grandparent or older. This is someone who is still trying to guide you in this life, and they really want to connect with you in this reading to encourage you to embrace your feelings and to understand your fears. So there's a strong message in this group with this Illusion card of being able to overcome things that could be subconsciously holding you back, your own subconscious thoughts, your own subconscious feelings, your own subconscious fears. There is both a sort of challenge and an opportunity in those feelings. Identifying those feelings will help you understand what you really want right now, because there is a lot of truth in that subconscious side of you. But you will also better understand what fears could be secondarily creating a lot of doubt, a lot of concern, and ultimately some blockages. I do feel like your dreams are very important to you right now. You're getting a lot of downloads. Maybe don't take them literally. Have a look at the themes, have a look at the recurring themes, have a look at the relationships between the people in your dreams. For example, it feels like there is age gaps in which someone is older and someone is younger. And it also feels like there's a clear message here of making sure that you're aware of the fact that you have people that love you and that are here to support you, whether they're living or not. So there's a strong message of you being watched and looked after in a helpful way. I don't mean to make that a creepy message, group 2. I do get a strong ancestral energy from this group. I did from the beginning, as soon as Crocodile came out, and then Weeping Willow really confirmed that your ancestors are really around you, group 2. They're trying to connect with you in any way they can, which is why I think for a lot of you it's your dream state. But there is this message of highlighting to you where your opportunities lie and how to navigate them based on your subconscious thoughts. I think that journaling might be really helpful for you. If you can just sort of scroll or scribble without thinking too hard, I think you might be surprised at what may come out. You're translating from a subconscious sort of part of yourself or a deeper, more reserved part of your intuition. And there's this patient energy here with the crocodile saying that things are happening for you and that they are all coming together behind the scenes. So this makes me think that for a lot of you, what you are wanting is not too far out of reach, and you may have the opportunity with this crocodile to get to see the results that you've been waiting for a very long time come into fruition. We will clarify that with tarot, but I just have one more message with the caterpillar. You are transforming. Your circumstances are transforming, and there is an opportunity here to embrace a solid change. This change feels like it is coming from a space of metamorphosis. So it's a welcomed change. It's something that we want. It's not something that we're not expecting. It's something that we've been involved in terms of there was a process and we were very aware of that process. It's something that may have required effort and then rest and recovery before you contribute more effort again. So there were levels to this, is what it feels like. You've been patient and you've been biding your time, group 2. I hope this is helpful and resonating for you. It feels like you've had your ups and your downs, and right now you're coming into another era where you're cutting out of a rest period and you're going into an up period of experiencing success and advancement. So let us have a look at this crocodile energy in depth. What is this crocodile energy about for my group 2s? What is this crocodile energy about for my group 2s? We have the High Priestess reversed. Yeah, you've got people pulling strings for you in the background. Your spiritual team is very active. You have people who've known you in this life who are very dedicated to making sure that you're successful. They want what is best for you, and they are purposely holding back what isn't. So for a lot of you, this has to do with emotional opportunities, if that resonates, for my singles especially, but we're going to keep it general. So this could include friendships. There's this idea here of being able to give you something that you deserve, and you waiting a long time to experience that because you may have gone through a few bad eggs first, or because you have been single for a very long time. Patience comes to those who wait with this crocodile card. And I do firmly believe that this crocodile is about things happening for you, not because you've designed everything within a controlling sort of domain. With the High Priestess here reversed, it's almost because you aren't controlling it, because you've pulled back and because you've decided, you know what, this is out of my control. I can't do too much about this. I'm going to focus my attention elsewhere for now. That's why this is happening. And I do feel like there was a bit of trial and error with this, because we're being shown the fact that you have options and you're being very selective and choosy about what you want. You're going, that's nice, but can it be better? And I think with the King of Wands reversed, this crocodile energy is about a change in expectations, a change in plans, and maybe feeling as though what we actually want is not what we need. So what you need to know with this crocodile energy is this is not at all something that you were expecting, anticipating, or manifesting. This is something that you have subconsciously attracted towards you, orchestrated by your loved ones from the other side. And with the energy that you put out there, it is coming towards you to add more to your circumstances and to hopefully make sure that you ultimately get everything that you need and that you deserve. Especially with the Four of Cups here, there's a high chance that you may not recognize it at first because it's not what you're actively looking for. You may test this opportunity. You may put it through the ringer and go, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? And this opportunity may go, damn, this is really hard. Like, I just wanted to build a friendship with this person. Why do they keep pushing me away? It kind of feels like it's not happening the way that we expected. Is there anything else you can tell them? Page of Swords, a lot of watching, a lot of observing, a lot of investigating is going to happen before things actually get the chance to move forward. And I think with the Page of Swords being here as well, there is this undertone of being able to communicate what is on your mind. So I feel like with this crocodile, what you need to know is this opportunity that's coming in, this new opportunity for connection, is ultimately going to be a little bit of a social test. It's going to be a test of, can you say and do the right things to get exactly what you actually ultimately at its core are desiring? Even though it feels like another test, even though it feels like it's just going to come and go like the others, this one could actually last a bit longer if you can last a bit longer. It's almost encouraging you to push yourselves a little bit and to test how much you've learned from previous experiences. It's also something that I think you're going to have a careful balance of sort of your pride or your ego and your shadow attributes, as well as your active sort of best self. You have to kind of be able to step out of yourself and call yourself out from time to time and go, wait a minute, you're doing it again. Like, calm down, be a bit gentler. You don't have to be perfect all the time. Or wait a minute, you're doing it again. You're self-sabotaging. Try to, get your head straight and understand your actions are counterintuitive to what you actually want. So I do think that you may need to step out of yourself throughout this process, because you are going to ultimately betray yourself. So it feels like this is something that has taken a long time for a reason. It wasn't just about making sure that you got what you deserve. It's also about making sure that you know what you deserve and that you don't ultimately cut something off before it has the chance to show you how helpful it can be, which is why we probably have this Page of Swords with the scissors there, because we have a high chance of cutting things short without knowing what it can ultimately give us. So I do think that this is something that's happening to you, sweet soul. I don't think that it's something that's going to happen in the next 2 years. It's happening to you at the time that you see this. There's somebody in your life who you're putting through the ringer, who's trying to give you this new opportunity for connection, at the very least friendship. But for my singles, it feels like a love interest, and they've been waiting for things to progress. And your ancestors have been trying to speed this up, in the sense of they've been trying to give you answers of like, listen, this isn't another test. This is actually the opportunity that you've been waiting for. But it's not how you expected it to be. It's not in line with what the millions of tarot readings told you. And so you're thinking this can't be it. Interesting. So what is going on with this illusion card? How does this moon card fit in with all of this energy, spirit? How does this moon card apply to my group twos? All right. We have the Ace of Wands, the Hermit reversed, and the Nine of Swords. So we got a lot of new opportunities for this group. Four of Wands is reversed now at the back of the deck. Group two, the moon is trying to show you that you are someone who has a very deep, deep, deep emotional side. You may be someone who enjoys daydreams or kind of reading deep into things and being very observant and intuitive towards people and situations. You're an incredible observer, and I feel like you're a very good judge of character as well, is what's coming up. And this moon card is saying that sometimes your intuition connects with your logical brain and can hypothetically, is that the word? It can hypothetically conjure every possible outcome available to you between your intuitive mind, and your logical mind of rationale and fear. You have the ability to imagine any possible outcome in any given scenario. This is extremely helpful because you are intuitive and you do know what could happen, but it's also incredibly harmful because it's hard for you to just sort of go with the flow and let things happen. You assume the worst at times, and you really cling to some of those things that aren't ever going to happen, instead of surrendering to the chance of possibility and how things could naturally evolve. So what you need to know is, when opportunities come your way, it is in your best interest to stay grounded, to stay present, and to work with the energy as it is evolving. Don't jump too far ahead. Don't project yourself too far into the past, and just make sure that you're staying present. You're an incredibly gifted person and you have this beautiful ability, but it is in your best interest to just focus on staying grounded, present, and available to the energy as it is developing. Some of you actually need to disconnect when it comes to reading for yourself and just focus on what is happening in front of you so that you can make the most out of your choices and your chances. There is this strong feeling of getting out of your comfort zone a little bit with the upcoming opportunities and really testing yourself to just stay where you're at and not jump into these other dimensions of possibilities. I also think with the Hermit card reversed, this is like you looking like you trusting what you know, trusting what you feel, and not always getting that second, third, fourth, fifth opinion from other people, whether that's from other readers, whether that's from other friends, other figures of advice in terms of parental figures or scholars, or that could be around you. I don't know who that applies to. Trusting your own advice, your own wisdom, and your own experiences to be able to educate you enough. Otherwise, you're so disconnected from the truth. You're just collating an abundance of data that makes the overall average of information very confusing, especially with the Nine of Swords reversed. That's where we have to go through the average and just come to the conclusion that the worst case scenario is probably going to happen, which isn't fair to us, and it's not fair to the situation that is trying to transpire in a more positive and helpful way. I think a lot of you may need to try to just cut these things nip them in the bud, cut them in the early stages so that we don't get too carried away with those thoughts, with those fears, and with that irrational thinking, especially with the Nine of Swords reversed. There is a strong message here of please just let yourself see clearly and ensure that you aren't getting too carried away to the point where you actually have regrets over the actions that you could have taken. And then it's just a vicious cycle of feeling like you aren't able to catch up with all the would have, could have, should haves. Is there anything else they need to know about this moon? We have the Eight of Pentacles reversed and the Fool. So a lot of this energy has to do with doing things right the first time so that we don't have to look back and, well, what if I did this instead? What if I did that? What if that happened? No, let's just stay present and available to opportunities in this present moment so that we can, through our actions right here, right now, create the outcome that we want. Let's just stay in the driver's seat, the main character energy that we know we can embody, and create the outcome that we want instead of I think I'm looking for the word like hypothesizing or hypothetically theorizing. Yeah, what could happen instead. See, I never use this language in my day-to-day life. It always comes out in the readings. It's always insanely complicated language. So I'm very sorry if that's drawing away from the message, but definitely stay grounded. Don't get carried away with the would have, could have, should haves. Let's keep moving forward. Spirit, we need clarity on this Weeping Willow. What is this about for my group twos? What is this Weeping Willow about for my group twos? Okay, one card. Temperance. The Ace of Wands again. And the Chariot with the Four of Swords. So fours are significant for this group. I feel like you're really being supported. I can't boost that up enough, my group twos. Your spiritual team are really trying to be like, listen, we have you. We have your back, group two. We're here to support you. We're here to love you and to make sure that you feel confident moving forward. Now, with this Weeping Willow, that Four of Swords is about recovering and potentially taking things slowly when it comes to your family dynamics right now, your family bonds, and being able to move forward from some pretty challenging times with your family, whether it was the loss of a loved one or whether it was strains in relationships that felt like you had temporarily lost a loved one. I think that this family sorrow card is very much about you being very slow, not needing to force anything to happen right now, not needing to be the main instigator of healing with other people. The best thing you can do with Temperance being here is just keep the peace for yourself. Make sure that you are on good terms with the ones that you care about, with the ones that are important to you. Make sure that you are giving yourself enough time with the people who matter, especially if families or the family dynamic forms part of your values and it's something that is very important to you. Make sure you're giving yourself enough time to do that. And with the Ace of Wands here, prepare yourself for a chance to restart these connections in a more meaningful way. I do think that there'll be key figures in your family. Again, family isn't biological. I've said this many, many times. Family is chosen for a lot of us, I want to say. And then we also have our biological family. But however you choose to identify it, there's going to be an opportunity in your family to really restart some important connections and to get to know each other more deeply and to redefine your roles in each other's lives. You need to know that the family strains are essentially improving. I do want to be careful how I word that because I can't promise that it's going to be good overnight. I think it will take a lot of work. But I think that as long as we're putting in energy with Temperance here, it is going to balance out. And this isn't about glossing over things and just smoothing over it and pretending that things are okay. This is about addressing it for what it is. Look at this Temperance card. We're not pretending anything. If we feel angry, we feel angry. If we feel joy, we feel joy. If we feel sorrow, we're allowed to feel sorrow. That is how we get to this balanced state within those meaningful connections. We aren't pretending anything, we're feeling everything. And that's why we got to be a bit patient with how we do that. It is an ongoing process and emotions fluctuate. So with the Chariot card being here too, I feel like that Weeping Willow card is about the fact that there is hope. Especially if you've had a strained relationship in your family. The first person that comes to mind when I say that, there is hope and there is a way to find a path to move forward. And you're both going to agree that that's the best path forward. Whether it's about agreeing to disagree or whether it's about having strong boundaries, there is a positive path forward with the Chariot. And any obstacles you're currently experiencing will dissipate with time and with this idea of us investing energy into how we're feeling and acknowledging our feelings, not just smoothing over them and pretending that they don't exist. So that's what I'm seeing with the Weeping Willow. We're going to move forward. We'll have a look at this Caterpillar card. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. What is this about, Spirit? What is this change about for my group twos? The Chariot again, okay. Movement. For some of you, this is about physically moving out of your home. This is about a loved one coming home for some of you. And this is about you having a change in your family dynamics. It does feel like this comes through with communication. So the Ace of Swords is saying a new idea is coming in to offer a chance to change what isn't working. The goal behind this change is that we need more stability, we need more peace for ourselves, and we need to make sure that we aren't stepping on other people's toes. So I feel like this could look like moving. It could look like that idea of overcoming a fear in order to make something work, and really working on a relationship in our lives as well. With the Devil card being here, some of you are feeling like this is something that's a bit cheeky, or it's something that could be, I don't want to say counterproductive, but it almost feels like you need to do it in a way that is a bit dodgy, can I say. This change feels like it's something selfish almost, that we're choosing for ourselves at somebody else's expense. But it also feels like a dog-eat-dog world in this circumstance. Like if you don't do it, somebody else is going to take advantage of it. So you have to do it for you. It feels like you kind of are being pitted against something else or someone else, and it's like, well, it's your time to shine or somebody else is going to take the spotlight type of thing. It's like, if you don't claim it, somebody else will. I don't really like this feeling, to be honest, with that Devil card. Just makes it feel very cheap, or it feels like it doesn't matter that it came to us. It could have happened to anybody. But I think that the main reason you need to hear about this opportunity is because it is still an opportunity for you. It is still your way out, and it is still valuable information that you should at the very least process and decide whether this is something that you want. It's not a promise, and it doesn't have to be a contracted decision. It's just something that you should know, and it's something that you can take, but there does feel like there's a price to pay if we move forward with it. So things will not always be this way. A change is coming. You may feel like you're in a situation with a very selfish person, and your only way out is to kind of play the game with them and be equally selfish. I do think that those kinds of actions have repercussions, and we may feel like this was not our character to do this, but it does also feel like the way out. Is there any advice? Is there any advice? Yeah, an argument, but it's for our justice. We're walking away at the expense of somebody else's success. You have choices. This isn't your only choice. Your advice is there are multiple things you could choose to do for yourself. The goal is change, but there are different ways that you can do it. With the Page of Swords reversed, taking premature action without having all of the information could really make the situation worse. Do your research, ask around, gather evidence, gather information, and then decide what to do, because you do have choices. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to cause this kind of pain, is what it feels like. So that's what I'm seeing for you, my group twos. Let me get my extended reading deck out, and we'll have a look at what we're covering in your extended reading. Okay. Group 2, what are we covering in your extended reading? We just got the 3 of Cups coming out. So I'm just going to pause this actually, and we'll get 2 more cards. What else do you want Group 2 to know in their extended reading, Spirit? So I'm going to voice record this, and if you join me in your extended reading, I play the voice recording back to be able to make sure that I'm covering everything that we talked about in the first part of your reading. Speaking of, you got a lot of powerful Gemini, Mercury energy in your extended reading. So let me zoom out a little bit. So we're going to talk about this 3 of Cups first. This 3 of Cups is about companionship, and I want to say loyalty for you. I don't usually read my 3 of Cups like that, but it feels like you need to know who your friends are. So in your extended reading, we're going to be having a look at who your friends are. Who do you have around you for support? What are some helpful things you can do to distract yourself from some of the bigger stuff that's going on right now? And what do you need to know about your well-being and about your social battery right now? Because there is a message here about the company that you keep. We'll see what that is in the extended reading. We also need to talk about this Lovers card. This Lovers card is giving me very strong Gemini energy, this idea of making a big decision for yourself, needing to prioritize your own needs. We're going to explore what this decision is about, what are the choices you can make, and what is in your best interest. We're also going to talk about this Magician energy, so it's more Gemini energy. This time we're being shown Gemini and the Magician's Mercury influences. The Magician is about powerful communication and being able to control a situation with smoke and mirrors to some extent. We're going to have a look at what you need to know about your influence in this situation, how you can get better control over your circumstances, and what you may need to know about other people's intentions, how their intentions are impacting your well-being and your best interest right now. It does feel like somebody else has a pretty firm grip on aspects of your life, which is very frustrating for you. So we're going to have a look at that in the extended reading as well. And then at the back of the deck, we have the Hermit card to solidify this Mercury trifecta. The Hermit card card is giving strong Virgo Mercury energy. This is saying that your brain is your own, your choices are your own, so make sure that you come to your own conclusion about things. Gather all the evidence, gather all the information. In your extended reading, we're going to ask Spirit, what information are you missing? What information should you be paying more attention to? And how can you gain more information? This will really help you feel more informed towards any decisions you need to make in your immediate future. If that sounds like something that could be helpful for you, group 2, especially if the first part of your reading did resonate, the link to your extended reading will be in the description box. It's on my website, the extended readings page at thehermittarotshop.com is where you're going. Make sure you click on the right group. You are group 2 of the What Do You Need to Know reading. So before you go group 2, wherever you're going, I really want to thank you for all of your time right here, right now, especially if you can't join me in the extended reading. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support, your time, your energy. I hope this reading was helpful. I hope it did fill in the gaps and ultimately offer you the information that you need or remind you of the information that you need right now. Please look after your beautiful self. I wish you all the best on your journey moving forward, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi group 3 and welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful blue crystal or this purple resin necklace, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome group 3. I apologize if I just called you group 2. I keep getting 2 and 3 mixed up and 2 and 1 mixed up. It's been ridiculous. But if you've chosen these objects, you are a part of group 3's reading, so welcome. I'm going to put your objects up here and we're going to get basically straight into it. So group 3, today's video is a guidance reading. We're asking for as much information as we can get from your spiritual team, from source, from spirit in general. We're asking, what do you need to know right now? That may sound like a general question, but my goal is to really get you some very specific answers and information. So let's get into it. We have Triumph coming out for you, the World card in reverse with Dionysus and Ariadne. I'll figure that out one day. We also have the Black Egg. Oh wow, very powerful card in this deck. We have Spiritual Love, the Lily, and we have Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in your near future. Okay, so we got to check that out. So what I can say, group 3, is I feel like your spiritual team wants you to know that there is something that requires your immediate attention. There is something that could be hindering some sort of plan or something that you are hoping for in terms of you've been putting a lot of effort towards it and you're really wanting it to work out the right way for you. I feel like with the World card reversed, this is probably something that may need a little bit more effort, or you may need to reconsider the way that you're approaching this situation, coming at it from a different angle. Yeah, it looks like you're not seeing something for what it truly is here. What is this in relation to? A long achievement, Spirit saying something you've been working on for a while. It's something that you've been physically working towards and being frustrated by the fact that it's not progressing the way that you want it to. It's also something that you are currently in a state of deliberation about. You're considering what your next move is, what you can do. With the Two of Swords, you're wondering, like, what do I get out of this? What can I make out of this? I do think that there is a decision that needs to be made about where you're headed to next, and this is going to impact multiple areas of your life, group 3. This is a big deal, closing out a chapter here, or really coming to the end of a major cycle and trying to make sure that you do so in the most effective, efficient way. This has a lot to do with you feeling like you've accomplished something quite significant, and I think that the message here is be very straightforward with your actions, with your communications, in order to tie up this cycle and really get to the end in the most harmonious way, especially if you're working with other people, you're needing to have conversations with other people. Make sure that these conversations are direct. Make sure that you are communicating everything. And make sure that you aren't missing out on anything. Make sure it's straight to the point and that it is clear in terms of there's no room for ambiguity. There's no room to go, hey, but I thought you meant this. You'd be like, no, I very clearly stated that. So there's an interesting message here about using clear, direct communication and action. Keep your intentions clear. Spirit is saying follow through and don't use the gray area as a scapegoat. Be very consistent and clear with your actions. I think that this is because there are things that could be misconstrued by those around you. It's almost like just a misunderstanding or an error because you weren't paying close enough attention. It gives me that idea that there's some sort of detail that you could be missing around you right now. It's a very specific message, group 3. So see how that resonates. 6 of Cups reversed. Interesting. So I feel like this situation is going to give you the chance to maybe do something so that you don't have to... The way that I'm looking at it is you don't have to redo it, because the 6 of Cups reverse can sometimes be a card of missing something and missing someone. And it feels like there definitely is something that you are missing, but I was looking at it from more of like a you're not seeing it clearly. This card is looking at it like your emotions are kind of getting the best of you as you dwell in your past a little bit too much. So this could have to do with you physically missing somebody as well, and that's been a bit of a distraction. There's this interesting energy of wanting something that isn't here right now and imagining it for what it once was. So, very weird message. Is there any other clarity you can offer my group 3s? The 4 of Wands. The thing is, I feel like there is maybe a mistake or something about the past, something that you need to do in order to feel like you have closure moving forward. Because what you need to know is the goal behind this is to make sure that you are stable, that you feel like you're surrounded by the right people, and that you feel like you are achieving the right amount of success, the right kind of success. And you can't feel like that unless you are able, Yoda, no. Sorry, I'm just picking up my shoe, which he's decided to claim as his toy. You can't do that unless you are able to feel stable and secure in your actions and in your connection to a very specific person. It could be a people, but it feels like a person. This could be a sibling, this could be an ex, this could be somebody who you've sort of fallen out with. There's no serious beef. It's more like in hindsight with time, you realize that there maybe needs to be more effort on your part. That's the best way I could describe it, group 3. Is there anything else they need to know? In my head, I was asking, what about this other person? Like, what are their intentions? To be honest with you, this other person is currently looking at where the grass is greener. This other person is trying to invest energy into other things, other people, and it's because they got sick of waiting in this situation. They got sick of waiting for things to change. They were impacted by what happened in the past and they saw it as a redirection. You know what? I need to start putting my energy into myself and into other things. They have had moments of feeling trapped by their lack of ability to take action forward in this situation. And they've also felt like things just aren't moving forward the way that they can hope for it to, so there's no point in investing in it. This person feels very practical. Like, if something isn't showing signs of improvement, why would I try to make it improve? That's what they feel. So this other person, this situation has a lot to do with someone feeling left out, someone feeling like they're not close to this situation anymore, and it's because they are wanting to be a part of the process. If that resonates as you, take it. But there is a person in this situation who feels like they're not a part of the process anymore. They're not as close to the fun side of the island as they used to be. I'm just using metaphors to hopefully help, but I apologize if that's more confusing. It feels like the other person in this situation with the 9 of Wands reversed is feeling very defeated, and so they're re-strategizing. Sweet soul, they're putting energy into other things, and they are effectively pulling back to be able to do what is best for them. So if this is something that you're still interested in, you have to start deciding how to act towards it. You have to come correct, and you have to come clearly. Or you have to be able to gain closure from the past and allow yourself to move forward and stop dwelling on this as something that could have, would have, should have. That's what I'm seeing. A major cycle standing in the way of you achieving further success. Let's talk about this black egg now. This black egg is heavy energy. It's very serious energy. A lot of readers, I think we like getting the black egg, to be honest. This deck is still new to me, but I feel like a lot of readers like getting the black egg because it's a symbol. And in this deck, it's accompanied by this beautiful foil O to kind of embody this new beginning, this energy of completion. So there's a strong message here of you ending and starting cycles. And I think my group 3s, what you need to know is you have the ability to maybe really put an end to something quite frustrating that has been dragging on for far too long, and giving yourself the chance to start something fresh, to do it completely differently. Give yourself a do-over. I think what you need to know is you have the power to very drastically, radically change your life and give yourself the fresh start, the blank start that you deserve right now. But what you don't realize with the black egg is this is something full of promise and potential. It definitely requires a lot of effort, consideration, and clear action. And the only thing about that, I don't mean to scare you, is that you have the capabilities. You are more than able to make this happen if you recognize how much effort and energy has been wasted in cycles that just haven't achieved the level of success that you deserve. It feels to me like there are cycles in which have just been prolonged. They haven't eventuated into what you imagined them to be. Maybe you entered that situation thinking this is going to be like my golden ticket, basically, and it's going to be the one thing that I'm really proud of in my life, or it's going to really pay off for me. It just had never got that far. And I think that there is a turning point for you where you can either continue to just accept the status quo and go, this is as good as it's going to get, or you could use that friction that you're feeling, that uncomfortability of, damn, this is just frustratingly the same shit, different day, to create a different outcome for yourself and to start investing energy differently. Now, because I'm not well versed with this deck yet, I am going to read from the guidebook to help see if there's any other messages that I may be missing for you with that black egg. Cute. Black egg. Dream a little dream. Well, it's not going to be in there, is it? Here we go, Spirit. We got a dragon. We got a phoenix. Sorry for this. I didn't realize how long it was taking me. I just get in my own little world sometimes. The golden egg, that's right. And then we have the black egg, speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. So the goal here is expression, group 3, speaking your truth and acting in your truth. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify, our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. So the black egg is commonly connected, more associated with the 5th chakra. The subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translates as especially pure. The balance of this center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. There is a heavy amount of potential within truth because you're operating in the white space. You're not allowing the gray area to confuse you, and you're not allowing the denial and fear of what the darker area can cause. And I'm really talking about this in terms of light. I know I get some lashback about using colors and being labeled as being colorist, which I find hilarious because I am black. So it's just like, what? But anyway, I'm talking about this in terms of the light spectrum. White in the light spectrum is the, what's the best word for it? The color of clarity and being able to see clearly. In terms of the light spectrum, when things become distorted by the gray, it naturally becomes confusing. We find it hard to discern. Once a color that was once vibrant turns gray, it no longer holds that same amount of energy, clarity, or emotion. It can become numb as well. And then when it gets into the shadows, we have no ability to see, and we're very plagued by that confusion, as well as now maybe denial and also fear. So this black egg is really surrounded by this beam of white light trying to offer clarity with this shade of what I want to say is either fear or denial around the outside. So group 3, I went on a huge tangent, but I feel like right now you need to know that this card is really calling for you to be very open to your truth and to the information as it is. Don't distort it. Don't push it away. Let it come to you. Knowledge is power, and the truth is your tool to be able to create the outcome that you deserve and any outcome that you desire. If you operate within the gray, within the illusions, within the denial, within the confusion, you aren't able to get as far ahead. You aren't able to progress forward. Some of you are really working towards the ability to achieve some significant success. You can't get there until you start taking those truthful, authentic actions and having these conversations that are very strongly aligned with what is real and what is right. That's an interesting word. Why? Why did we have to use right, Spirit? Sorry, but I just need to figure something out. Queen of Cups reversed, your heart. This is an interesting group. Sorry, sweet boy. The cards nearly fell on the doggo. So your truth is connected to how you feel, and how you feel is connected to feelings that haven't been expressed in a long time. Feelings of rejection, or even feelings of, if I say this, I'm not going to get the response that I want, so I'm not going to say it. Your truth is connected to something that you've been sitting on for a very long time, a feeling or an information, an idea, a thought that you have stored deep within you to the point where it's your burden alone. This truth is something that, when spoken, has the ability to really balance things out. It has the ability to help people understand who you are. And it has the ability to explain some of your behavior to those who are very close to you. Because I feel like this is a burden you carry to yourself. And when other people get close to unleashing that or triggering that, or even you're reminded of that truth that you've stored away, it kind of impacts people in a way where, well, obviously that's a soft spot, but it's hard to figure out why. So it's like you're not fooling anyone. There is this undertone of there's something there that happened, but it's never really been spoken, is what I'm feeling. The other message that I'm getting is your truth is heavily connected to your emotional availability and your ability to really deeply connect. And I think that speaking your truth and expressing this thing that you've been thinking about for a very long time is going to be able to get a lot out that maybe you've been holding in for a while. Whether it is a burden or not, it feels like it hasn't been disturbed in a long time. And the only reason you're being called to do it now is so that you can get on the right page, and so that you can feel like you're balanced again within that relationship or within that situation. This is about feeling confident in the fact that there is no bad blood, there is nothing to worry about, and moving forward, like, we have each other's back with the Six of Pentacles. It's like you maybe owe this to this person to speak the truth. There's this feeling of debt and repaying a debt, and like, I owe this to them. So we're going to move forward because we spent a lot of time talking about that. We went on a lot of tangents. We're going to talk about these cards now. These cards are heavily connected to the other cards, only because I feel like a lot of you are dealing with a person in your life who has a very complex connection to you, one that you may label as more of like a spiritual love, but it just feels like you have maybe been on a journey of trying to understand yourself better, while also dealing with life's responsibilities and having to juggle being an active working person. Or it's almost like you are just now being pulled to focus back on that inner sanctum, that part of you that doesn't have a price tag attached to it, that can't be silenced over long periods of times, but it can easily be numbed with certain responsibilities or experiences. It's like, it feels like for a lot of you, your inner self is trying to really connect and be loud again and tell you like, hey, group 3, it's me. Like, when are you going to talk about this? When are you going to do this? Like a pull within your soul. And I do think with Lily and Finger here, your higher self is really trying to say like, hey, pay attention, this is happening, what are you going to do about it? So Spirit, what is going on with this Lily and Finger card? Are they connected? The Hermit, it is about introspection, it is about you, it is about what you're thinking deep down inside and how you're feeling deep down inside. It is about the thoughts that you're having. It is also about the path that you're walking and where you feel called to be right now. 3 of Wands reversed. It's also about untapped potential and making sure that you are investing energy in what is actually going to give you the chance to develop and move forward. Some of you have hit a roadblock and you're kind of aware of the fact that what you're doing isn't exciting anymore, or it isn't actually a path that you can grow into anymore. It's not something that is as fun as it used to be, and it's not something that has as much purpose as it used to. It may even just feel like it's not developing the same way that it used to. A lot of you are gunning for a new beginning. Your higher self is saying, sweet soul, it's time. It's time. Maybe we should cut our losses and give ourselves a chance for a fresh start, a baggage-free fresh start. That's probably why that conversation is so important, so that it can be a baggage-free fresh start, so that you don't have to worry about taking on your past with you, giving yourself the opportunity to be able to move forward. I do see the Wheel of Fortune reversed as us sometimes being out of alignment. And in this case, look at that, the past is coming back to haunt us again. In this case, that feeling of being out of alignment is actually more of us recognizing where we're being called towards. If something is becoming increasingly difficult for you to do, but you've been doing it for a very, very long time, that is a symptom. That is a sign. That is a clear message of this ain't it anymore, Group 3. We need to start exploring other options, other directions, other possibilities, other exciting things, people, places, experiences. I think some of you are very comfortable doing what you do, but you've also stagnated. And the thing is, this is your truth, and this is something that anybody could say to you, but it's up to you to decide whether that's a truth you want to believe in, whether that's a truth that you want to take action on, or whether that's going to be the truth that you carry to your grave ultimately. I'm being so dramatic, I apologize. But I do think with this Wheel of Fortune reversed, there's a strong message here of giving yourself the freedom of choice at the very least, so that you can be more aware of what is calling your name right now. I do feel like travel is a possibility, but I think that that's something that you're against for some reason. You're like, I can't be radical. I can't just say yes and throw caution to the wind. I can't think of that right now. I can't put myself in the position to say yes to that right now. And with justice here, there's also this message of, well, listen, like I can't actually allow that to happen because it's not going to give me the win-win outcome that I want. But Spirit's saying, yes, it will. That's your fear talking. This can be something that at the very least is a helpful working step in the right direction. That is a sign that, yes, those decisions that I made were right. But this is also something that I feel you either owe to yourself or you owe to somebody else. There's a strong feeling of corrective order, of making sure that things are balanced and making sure that you don't have regrets and that you don't look back at this moment and say, I wish I did that and I wish I did this differently. And it could be resurfacing because of something that happened in your past that gives the same feeling of, I wish I did this differently. I wish I said something at the time. But you have that chance manifesting again. Spirit's saying make the most out of it. Make sure you do what you can to bring a fair outcome, and make sure that you bring yourself justice, and make sure that you are in a balanced place of making the right people in your life, making sure that they're on the right page with you. It does feel like this could be about a partnership, but I do need to double check what that warning is. And then we'll ask about a partnership. I hope this hasn't been too confusing, Group 3, because it's been a lot. What is this warning about for my Group 3s? Okay. This warning is about not saying something. Okay, this warning is about not saying something because it's too painful and it's too difficult, so we internalize, but it's still an issue. We're just not talking about it. It becomes the elephant in the room. It's also about feeling tempted to do something and labeling it as bad without even exploring the possibility of it. Some of you have made something the scapegoat for your issues. That's not the issue. Something else is. You need to start bringing these things to the surface or they become bigger than what they are. You are also finding other ways to deflect and distract from the real issues, using other things as scapegoats and saying that's the problem. These are also that behavior of needing something and of having to use something to numb something else or to cover up something else is a clear symptom of a real problem that needs to be addressed. with the Queen of Wands here, there is also this message of the problem being your energy, sweet soul. You attract what you are. And I do feel with this Queen of Wands that you are an incredibly powerful manifester. So please be careful about what you feed your energy into. If you continue to do something for too long, that becomes very quickly I'm hearing coffin. What you put your energy into is very quickly entwined to being your reality. If you start shifting that and believing differently, it can very quickly reshape and restructure your reality. This Queen of Wands is saying that a lot of this has to do with confidence and being able to give yourself that chance to have something different, that internal chance of, yes, I deserve something different. Now, I may be coming across as very harsh, but I feel like your spiritual team has been trying to show you, like, you are someone with a lot of power, and nobody can actually force you to live your life a certain way. It's up to you, the choices you make, and the paths you choose to take in terms of the actions that you're making. I do think with this Four of Pentacles reversed, the problem could also be about letting go and being able to put yourself back into a fluid, flexible environment or situation that isn't structured, that you don't have complete control over, and that is open to interpretation and possibility. That's what this feels like. I don't think you are the direct problem, sweet soul, because you're also the solution. You are the solution and you're also the problem. That's the thing. Warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. The thing is, you seal your fate with how you invest your energy. So just invest your energy wisely. I'm going to restart my camera and we'll close your reading. The last message that I want to ask for you is partnerships. What is this repeated message of relationships, partnerships, spiritual love, connection? What is that about for my group threes? Nine of Wands reversed, Eight of Wands reversed, Temperance. Well, who is this person, if you don't already know? First of all, whoever this is, you're not on good terms right now. It feels like one of you has resigned to invest in other things. There's a strong energy of it's me versus you. It's not me and you, it's me versus you. Some of you, this involves a third party as well, and you're trying to balance more than one energy here. But I do feel like if there is a third party, it's probably on your side, because I'm seeing it through the single person's point of view. Now, this is a situation in which I feel many of you are still trying to understand what is within your realm of responsibility and accountability. And in many cases, you both have just dropped the ball and gone, it's not my problem. It's not my responsibility. Like, I don't need to do this. The thing about Temperance being here is the reason why this keeps being brought up is because your spiritual team is saying, even if you pretend it doesn't, it actually does still affect you. It does still affect you. It still impacts your emotions. It still impacts your feelings, and it impacts the choices you make in other situations. So you do need to be aware of how this person, whether they're still in your life or not, is impacting your other relationships, let alone the relationship with yourself. There is a strong message here of being able to see clearly in terms of what this impact is, as well as in terms of what you have maybe been running away from, because I'm seeing a lot of running energy here. I'm seeing a lot of runner energy, and there's a strong feeling of just dropping it and trying to pretend like it's not even real anymore. Now, this person is someone who I feel comes across as incredibly spiritual or mysterious. There's an energy of becoming obsessive as well with each other. and they are coming across as someone who's very flighty. Like there's someone who's on the run at the moment. There's someone who is moving quite quickly in a different direction right now. They could be in a different location. They could be living a very fast-paced lifestyle right now, but they also strike me as someone that you've had most of your interactions with at a night time. And I think that this person is someone who you only think about when you're alone at night. I also think that this is somebody who comes across as a very deep, deep soul. Like you may have had some very deep and meaningful thoughts about them or conversations with them. The Hanged Man and the Moon are very deep Piscean, Neptunian energy. This is the energy that also becomes distorted with time because the information that we have was already so elusive, so mysterious. It has then been skewed into confusion, secrecy, illusion, daydreams, fantasies. We don't know what is real anymore with this person. Were they just in our imagination? What is real? At the time that you were closer, there was this feeling of being addicted to each other's energy and wanting more of each other. There's also this a feeling here of feeling like the other person had all the answers and you wanted to spend more time with them to figure that out. So there could be a lot of hesitation around trying to engage in that again. Is there any helpful advice you can give them in this situation? Why do they need to know about this? Okay, your advice. Wow, why do you need to know about this? The Fool card came out. A lot of you need to know about this because you're having the chance to heal and to be able to get rid of the baggage and give yourself a fresh blank start, a brand new start, a fresh, no baggage start. But you have to address the past. You have to talk about the past and you have to be able to point the finger between each other and go, that was on me, that was on you. This is how I feel. How do you feel? I don't know how deep this conversation is going to be because you're being told all of this because of the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. So that tells me that you're not guaranteed a chance of having a deep and meaningful conversation with the other person, Group 3. You are being offered the choice to take your own action and to choose to initiate your own plans. Whether that is towards this person or something else, it's up to you. It's your choice. It's not a promise. The Seven of Swords is telling me that for most of you, this is a secret or a thought that you plan on continuing to dance around and pretend it isn't an issue. But with the High Priestess reversed, it is deeply impacting a lot of your decisions, a lot of your actions, and a lot of the things that you could or would should be doing right now. So there is this inner feeling of being pulled back there and not having anybody to talk to about it. So I feel like this is happening to really try to help you cut that baggage free in any way that you can, whether that's through seeking out a conversation with this person or whether that's through allowing yourself at least, should I say, the dignity of acknowledging what was as well as what is right now. Sticking to your truth. Spirit is really saying stick to your truth. Honor what was, but by all means, stay grounded in what is right now and understand what you deserve right now as well, because it's become incredibly messy for you, Group 3, most likely because you've involved a third party or because you have taken that pain and transported it in a new direction without realizing that the same issues are still occurring. You haven't actually outrun anything. It's all catching up to you now, and it all needs to be addressed now so that you can once and for all cut it free and give yourself the best start at a fresh new beginning. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Group 3. I need to go into your extended reading now. I'm very curious to see what your extended reading is going to be about because you are a group like no other. Very different, very challenging messages, very triggering messages. I appreciate you if you made it this far. Those aren't easy words to hear and they're not easy words to channel. I have to respect that those kinds of messages come to me for a reason, but I wouldn't say these things off the dome unless I was feeling them in the energy. And this is a very frustrating energy to channel because it's like, I know you deserve more, Group 3. I know that you deserve all the love and all of the connection, but it's like this is the barrier, this is the slime coating on your heart, and we need to get that off. We need to allow your heart to beat and pump blood healthily so that you can really connect with those around you. So for my group 3 spirit, what are we covering in their extended reading? Nearly fell on the doggo again. Thank you, Yoda, for not reacting. The 8 of Swords reversed. We're also going to be talking about the King of Cups upright. What else? What else? The Chariot. And at the back of the deck, we have the Last Judgment card. Let me just pull my phone up. We're going to get my voice note up. I will record this so that I can play it back in the extended reading, make sure I don't miss anything. So group 3, we're going to follow on in your extended reading by looking at this 8 of Swords reverse. Spirit saying you need to know about your actions and the things that you can do to improve your situation. So in your extended reading, we're going to talk about that. What are the things that you can do to help improve your situation? You also need to know that things aren't what they appear to be. You may have trapped yourself in something, but there is a way out. So we'll have a look at what your way out is. With the King of Cups being here, there is somebody who cares very deeply for you. The feelings are incredibly deep. They love so much and they have a deep sense of compassion, but also control. They're not wanting to rock the boat with this King of Cups. So we're going to talk about who this person is, what do you need to know about them, and what do you need to know about your own feelings as well. How does this person relate to the first part of your message, and how do they relate to your best possible outcome moving forward? With the Chariot here, there is this idea of you getting a clear direction and getting unstuck, being able to move forward. I want to tell you what your next success will be when you start to take action and where you should be taking more action in general. Your reading is very much about action and acting upon how you feel, honoring your feelings. So we're going to have a look at that with the Chariot card as well. Last but not least, with the Last Judgment card reversed, how is the past coming back? And how is it going to be helpful? What is coming back from your past? And what are the intentions of that happening? Any advice that we can get, because your past is coming back, group 3. So what is it? How is it helpful? And what is it doing that for, basically? Any information that we can get. If that sounds helpful, and especially if the first part of your reading did resonate, the link to your extended reading is in the description box. It's on my website, thehermittarotshop.com, under the extended readings tab. So be sure to click on that to be able to get your messages. Before you go, my group 3s, I want to thank you for all of your time, your patience, your support, your energy. I appreciate you being here. This was a difficult reading for me to do because it is very much like I'm just lecturing you, and I don't like lecturing people, but I hope that the messages were helpful. I hope that they did find you at the right time and that you were able to get the information you need to feel more confident about how to move forward in your life right now. It has truly been a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye.